Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Heartbeat of Toledo's 2023 Annual Banquet. My name is Abigail Sadawi, and I have the honor of being your MC tonight as we celebrate Heartbeat's accomplishments over the past year, update you tonight on all of our exciting adventures, and honor some very special volunteers to our organization. But before we begin, we would like to take a moment to recognize a few of our sponsors. Our platinum sponsors, William Vaughn Company, Harvey Popovich, MD, Matthew Weisenberger, CCW Law, and Weisenberger Family Charitable Foundations. And our gold sponsor, Perrysburg Auto Mall, a proud part of the Cronin Auto family. We'd also like to give a big round of applause to all of our silver and bronze individuals that have participated tonight and donated as well. So please give them a round of applause. So now I would like to bring to the stage Mr. Father Jeff Macbeth from St. John the 23rd. Well, my pastor. It's kind of hard. I always just want to say Mr. Jeff. And he's going to start us off on a prayer today.
It's like being in St. John 23rd up on the screens.
I know.
Let's pray. Good and gracious God, we gather as a thankful people, mindful that it's through your goodness and your work in your hand that so much has been able to be accomplished through Heartbeat of Toledo. We're grateful for its existence, for all those who have been supported and accompanied at a time where they really needed it. And so we praise you for Heartbeat and all that so many have done over the many years. We ask that you bless our gathering tonight, our food and our fellowship. May it remind us of your goodness and strengthen us to serve you more and more each day as we move towards that kingdom where you live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
As you start your dinner tonight, we have a few clients that would like to tell you just a little bit about their journey with Heartbeat and say thank you to many of you donors for all you have contributed. Please enjoy your meals as we hear from Deanna, Tabitha, and Logan.
My name is Deanna Turner, and I got involved with the Heartbeat of Toledo. Basically, I found out I was pregnant, and I was looking for resources that help young women figure out what the next best step was. So I came across you guys, and yeah, the girls were just helpful. They really encouraged me. They gave me lots of different options, so I enjoyed it. So I was not sure, so that's kind of why I had reached out to them. And the women there, seeing that first heartbeat and this first ultrasound, it really changed my whole aspect of everything. And the women there, they were really encouraging. They were always telling me my options and what steps were next. If I had any questions, they were open for me to ask. So it really made me feel like I had that support system behind me, you know. My biggest thing was I didn't want to go to a place that was basically forced their beliefs on me. And I was running into that at a couple different centers, so I did want to go to a place that I felt was judgment-free. When I called the number, the women there seemed very open, they had lots of resources, and they were really willing to help answer any questions I had. So that really kind of helped me try to figure out, okay, what should I do next, because I didn't feel like I was being judged. They left any door open for me, you know. I think some unique aspects for me was my son's father stays halfway across the country, and so does most of his family. So it was finding out that I was young and I was pregnant and then going through school. It was just kind of it made me nervous because I didn't know what to expect. You know, my son's father is far away, and then I'm here basically by myself. My family doesn't know. So yeah, so trying to find that support system during that time was super important. So going there, I never once felt like I was forced. All the women were super helpful. They told me all my options. I never once felt confined into a box. They kept everything pretty generalized and helped me out. At first, I was a little nervous because I didn't know like what to expect or the judgment. But again, like they never once made me feel like I was being judged or I had to pick a certain decision or anything. It always was just left open, and then they always encouraged me to tell my family if I felt comfortable enough with it, and just reassuring me that they're there and they have resources for me. A lot of people, when they found out that I was pregnant, they kind of like doubted that I would finish school and stuff like that. Basically tried to put me in this box. So I kind of beat that because I finished school right after I had my son, about like a month later. So that was extremely big for me because I had been told by so many people, like, well, now that you're a mom, like you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that. And to be able to actually show them I can do that, that was a big thing for me. Honestly, I kept going back and forth with if I was making the right decision or not. Having that support system definitely was my biggest thing because I just wasn't sure what to do. I was nervous. Like I said, I didn't have like the best financial situation at the time, so it was just like trying to figure out what was best for me in that situation. So reaching out and finding resources, that was super big. That helped me a lot. I would say my visit with Heart to Heart, that first time receiving all that stuff, it really touched me because like I said, I wasn't going through the best financial situation, so trying to figure out how I was going to provide for this child coming. And then just seeing all the stuff that they were able to supply, that was really big and helpful. And it really brought me to tears because it was just like, okay, I do have that support system behind me and I can do this. And to the donors, I would like to thank you guys for everything you've done and continue to do. This program has helped me and my family in so many different ways. It's opened up so many resources and different lessons. Like, I'm happy I chose this program, honestly, and I continue to refer girls to the program, whether it's for resources or ultrasounds. Like, it's a great thing for the community, honestly.
I got involved with the Heartbeat of Toledo because my friends had suggested that I should go there to get the services that I needed at that point. I was not working at the time. I had no health insurance, and I'm like, are they not gonna charge me? Are they gonna charge me? Like, I need to know before I go because I don't have money for this. Like I said, the month before I just went through a miscarriage. I had a daughter in school and all of that other stuff. Life happens. I had no money, no nothing at that time. And you guys were like, come on, we got you. So I found out I was pregnant. I had felt it kind of off lately. So I went to take a test and it was very faint. Decided that I was gonna ask my friend. She's like, you need to take another test, so I took a second test. Other friends had suggested that I go to the Heartbeat of Toledo. So I called and made an appointment, got in kind of quick. And they took a test there and did an ultrasound to kind of confirm how far along I was, because it did come out that I was positive. They were able to give me a list of resources and doctors and the confirmation letter for me to get Medicaid and things like that for the services that I needed. My fear was I just lost a baby, and if I am pregnant and I don't have the services that I need, what am I gonna do? Because I didn't have insurance, I didn't have a job. I had my car, but I was living with a friend at a time, and I needed to make sure I knew so that I could start bettering myself for my family at that point. So having the Heartbeat of Toledo to kind of back me helped me out a lot. Just walking in, it calmed me down like a lot. It's very peaceful walking into that room. And then everybody there is just super nice, and they want to make sure that mom is comfortable. And then going back, it's just literally the whole thing is just comfortable. It calms you down and just keeps you going. It's the people and how they react during it. The fact that you were able to help provide a list of doctors for me, just to be able to go down the line and call. I could text you guys when I needed it. And having that at my fingertips was really good for me because one, I wasn't sleeping, and two, I was just up all the time just worrying. But I had that peace of mind. I could just text and say, hey, you know, is there anything that I can do so that I can get this, this, and this for this, you know? And it's just, to me, that calms me. So to thank the donors, I really do appreciate them donating and making sure that we have the services that we have, because I really, really did need them. I didn't have the insurance and I needed it. And I needed to have that peace of mind. If the donors would seriously consider keep donating, that would be great.
My name's Logan. I'm 26. I have a 2-year-old daughter. Her name is Aislinn. When I found out I was pregnant with her, I was told for many years that I probably wouldn't have kids. So I was shocked, beyond shocked. I started at Your First Look. I got the confirmation of that I was pregnant. I got my first ultrasounds there. And then it was during COVID, so I was by myself. It was pretty scary. My first kid and everything, so they gave me a whole bunch of information. They pointed me in any kind of direction. They helped me get to where I wanted to go. And then they pointed me to Heart to join their parenting classes, and I applied and was accepted. And then I graduated March of 23. I think everybody has unique aspects to their story. One that I share with a bunch of other moms is that it was my first child during a whole worldwide pandemic. So that was scary, but we made it. While going through it, it was very scary. I was very nervous. I feared a lot of judgment from people. I feared that I personally wouldn't be good enough, that I wasn't made out to be a mom, because I thought I'd live my whole life without having kids. So as a mom now, as my daughter's 2 years old, I feel a lot better than I did. At first, like I said, it was super scary and I was not prepared. So when I joined Heart and they sent videos every month, it helped me kind of prepare and get ready for that. It gave me a lot of good advice. It just overall just helped the way I do parent my child, because without that, I don't know what I would have done. When I was deciding whether or not I wanted to apply and go through with Heart, I was nervous that I was going to go in there and be judged, that they were going to look at me and be like, why do you have a kid? Why are you doing this? Once I did go through and was accepted and I got to meet everyone, there was no judgment. It was just you could tell that they loved what they were doing, they loved helping, they were very compassionate, and it made me feel better. A couple moments that stood out to me the most would be when I did my first pickup. At my first pickup, it was downtown. I got a stroller and car seat combo, and I think diapers and wipes and stuff. I got everything in my car, and I sat in my car for 20 minutes just bawling my eyes out. I knew at that time, without my job and everything, I wouldn't be able to afford both a stroller and a car seat, so to get them together, it was just amazing. It gave me my first moment of I can do this. I know, no matter what, I'm gonna be able to do this. And then just the group of people within the program itself, I knew I had a good group of people behind me to support me and get me through everything. And then another moment that really stands out is I came in to get my graduate certificate, and then I just got to reflect on the past 2 years and all of my pregnancy and see how far, not only that I've come, but see how healthy and happy my daughter is as well. And just recognize all the support I've gotten and all the help and the compassion and the love that I've received when I didn't expect it. It's affected me not only individually, but as a parent, I've just become kinder, I feel like. I've just I see the love I've received and I just want to give it to everyone else as well. I want to help other moms that struggle. I know I talked about my first car seat. Once my daughter outgrew it, I ended up giving it to another mom that needed one, so it could just go on and keep giving the purpose it was intended to for people that really needed it. As a parent, it's helped me learn through things I didn't know. It's helped me become, I think, a good mom. I hope. But it's improved my life by a lot, and it's just something I'll never forget. I was most surprised by just everybody's love and compassion they had, not only for me, but for my child as well. I really felt like going into the program, I wasn't just somebody that signed up, I was me, and they recognized me as me. So it didn't feel like it was a big program that they didn't care about anyone. They truly cared about who's going through it. I want to tell the donors and everyone that supports Heartbeat, thank you. Thank you for supporting a program that supported me and everyone like me. Thank you for keeping us going as moms that struggle. It truly does mean the entire world. Just your little support that you might think is little is really big to people like me. Even if it's just a small donation of a pair of PJs or a set of clothes, it means one more child's clothed. Even formula, one can keeps another child fed. Safety items, toys. Toys help with imagination and growth and learning. And all the items combined just keep moms going. It kept me going. It kept me from feeling like a complete failure all the time.
Aren't they just beautiful? Well, I hope you guys are all as excited as I am, because it's time to get this evening of information and appreciated starting. It is with great joy we would like to announce a new partnership that will enhance the way we impact families in their parenting journey through Heartbeat of Toledo. At this time, I would like to invite our Associate Director, the amazing Miss Terica Crawford, to the stage to give us some exciting news.
Good evening. I would like to introduce a new partnership that we have with Care Portal. This partnership is just another way for us to walk alongside our Heartbeat of Toledo families as they go on throughout their parenting journey. The Care Portal platform allows organizations like ours to reach out to area churches and community members through requests for client needs that may be outside of our current resources. So, for example, if a client had a need for tutoring for a school-aged child, that is not something that we typically provide, but we would be able to submit that need and a church would respond to assist. Implementing this resource is just another way of Heartbeat of Toledo showing that not only are we committed to providing the necessary information to families at the start of their parenting journey, but how we're dedicated to continuing to walk with them throughout. Because of this, it allows us to see the unique needs of each of these families, from their spiritual needs to the mental and physical needs as well. So we've created a list of area pastors, priests, and clergy who have agreed to provide spiritual counsel as just an additional resource to our clients. We have many of those spiritual leaders here with us tonight, and we will have the chance to hear from one of those really soon. I would like to thank you all for your unwavering support of Heartbeat of Toledo as we continue to serve our community.
Well, at this time, we would like to invite Father Eric Shield to the stage so we can hear all about the new partnership with St. Joe's of Maumee.
Well, good evening to all of you. So good to be here tonight. When Gina Bonino, who is, I've deemed the person with the funnest name I have ever met in my entire life. Where's Gina? I haven't been able to say hi to her yet. Gina Bonino. Look at it. I love Gina Bonino. And I can't help but just say Gina Bonino every time I say Gina Bonino. So you're going to hear that a lot tonight. So when she came and said, Father, would you speak about this partnership? I said, absolutely. And then she gave me the worst news ever. She said, you only got 3 to 5 minutes. I have never spoken for only 3 to 5 minutes. My parishioners will tell you that at St. Joe Maumee. Hey, who just said amen? Stop that over there. Take that wine away from her. Well, the Spirit is a-moving, and one of the things that I have said time and time again to my parishioners, and I say it again tonight, is you can't make this stuff up. If you would have told me that 4 years ago, when I was appointed pastor of Maumee St. Joe's, that I would be standing up here tonight, I would have said, you are crazy, absolutely crazy. But you can't make this stuff up because God's goodness continues to be so amazing and so generous in a world that tries to cover it up. But God's goodness always wins out. At Maumee St. Joe's, we have been blessed to witness a lot of growth in our church and our school communities over the past number of years. So it's gotten to the point where we need new space. And our staff was very aware, as we have prayed about this, that the Catholic Church in particular, and maybe some other Christian churches as well, have gotten a reputation that in many ways can be a very fair reputation, and that is that we are pro-birth more than pro-life, that we fight against abortion, but we're not always giving the assistance that we need to moms and dads who face crisis pregnancy. And so through prayer and a lot of discussion, we became extremely convicted that as we expand our facilities at St. Joe's and Maumee, that we have an obligation to show that the Catholic Church is not only pro-birth, but thoroughly pro-life in all that we do, so that our facilities must go beyond just our parish needs. Amen? Now, there are many pregnancy centers that we could have turned to. However, our parishioners at St. Joe's and Maumee have a long-standing relationship with Heartbeat of Toledo and a great respect for the ministry and the service that they provide. And come to find out, there are many parishioners who have benefited from the ministry and the services of Heartbeat of Toledo. And I've been blessed to hear some of these stories, and they're absolutely beautiful. And so there we were, planning to build a new space, new spaces, initially designed strictly for parish use. And then we found ourselves sitting in a room with Gina Bonino, Sam Byrne, and Dr. Harvey Popovich, who brought this all together. And my parish team was immediately struck by Heartbeat's mission to meet women and men where they are at and to truly assist them along that path to life. And wouldn't you know, Heartbeat was running out of space as well and was hoping to expand to our neck of the woods. At every turn, God has opened doors for this partnership between our parish and Heartbeat, and I could not be happier to announce that once we have our new spaces ready to go, and some things are a-brewing, let me tell you, Heartbeat will open another location for their Heart to Heart program in Maumee. Parenting classes. Parenting classes for those who choose life, and a boutique for the moms and dads to shop for those much-needed items such as formula, diapers, wipes, etc. And we will be present as an opportunity for those moms and dads looking to deepen their faith, looking to connect with God. I have come to realize, my dear friends, that we can never, ever, ever underestimate God and what He continues to do for His children. And I have no doubt that the Holy Spirit will keep moving as we embark in this awesome partnership. And so thank you for letting me share this time with you, and I can't wait to see all of this unfold. Right, Gina Bonino?
Heartbeat of Toledo is a life-affirming organization whose mission is to provide information, support, and resources to help women and men navigate pregnancy decisions, strengthen families, and build healthy relationships. I would like to draw your attention once again to the video screen as we hear from a couple whose journey could have taken a very different direction had they not have had the support and care from Heartbeat. As Champions for Life, we all love to hear stories about how our services help change the survivor of rape's pregnancy view on life. Kiana and Antonio's story is truly one of those stories. Ladies and gentlemen, Kiana and Antonio.
My name is Kiana, and I'm 40, so I thought I never was going to be able to have kids. So when I got pregnant, it was just like real random. I didn't even really think I was. He kept saying I was, but I didn't think so. I don't have any insurance, so I was like calling around and just calling people. So Heartbeat was like one of the first people I called. And they were just like, come on in, like basically with no problem. Don't worry about anything, just come in. In my mind, I didn't know what I wanted to do because I had been in a situation, and I feel like a lot of people been in this situation. And like, I really don't I don't believe in abortion, but that was my thought process because of the things that happened to me. I like kind of fell asleep, and then the person was just on me. So that's why one reason why I was really like hesitant on keeping it. Like, it was my first child, and I'm like, you know what? It must, like, God must just wanted me to do it. So that's why. And then I was still thinking about abortion, even though I don't believe in it. But it's like, how can you, like, it's like, are you gonna love it if it's that situation? So that's where my mind was. But then I love him, so I don't want to do that to him neither. So I think just him being him and helping me and talking to me about it and just being more understanding, and then the people at Heartbeat just like, I know you guys don't believe in abortion either, but they were just willing to help any way they could, you know. And that's what made me, with him and all the people at Heartbeat, made me like, just like, I want to keep it. Like, just seeing the heartbeat, everything. And then it also ended up being good because from what the doctor said, I was probably already pregnant before that situation. So it actually ended up good that he still was there, even if he, you know, didn't know that situation. So, I mean, all in all, there was a lot. And like, I'm like a person with a lot of anxiety. And I was stressed out about it, like real bad. Because, matter of fact, I didn't even tell him when it first happened, just because it's like, a lot of times people don't realize that when somebody do stuff like that to you, force themselves on you, like a lot of people don't talk about that because you feel bad. You feel like it was your fault. You put yourself in a situation you weren't supposed to put yourself in, and you don't talk about it. And that was not the first time that it happened to me. So, I mean, but they definitely played a big role in me just like going through it. How I heard about it, I really was just calling out of desperation. Because I went to the emergency room, I found out. I definitely was at home sick, because I really wasn't that sick, but I kept throwing up for like a week on and off. And he, like I said, he kept saying, you're pregnant. And I'm like, no. Because it was said that it was going to be hard. I probably wasn't able to carry. I felt like the unique aspects of my story was like, me being the age that I am, me thinking that I would never have kids, him being supportive, because a lot of people would not be supportive. And then that it turned out better, like it turned out to be good, like me and him finding it wasn't that situation. But before, my mind really thought it was that situation for a long time, and I feel like that's why I was more desperate to find out too. I feel like when I went to Heartbeat, one of the moments that stood out to me most was just, I don't even remember her name, but it was like every time I went in there, it was like an older lady with shorter gray hair, and she just was like telling me her experience with situations, or not really say I would do this way, but just telling me about her experiences. And that's what made it better too. So that stood out to me. It was just everybody being open and caring and understanding, and like I said, sharing their experience. That was like most meaningful to me too. Yeah, I did not feel judged, and I definitely felt safe and comfortable just having a conversation. It kind of felt like a little counseling, but it was nice to do. So I didn't feel judged at all, and I definitely felt safe. I think I'd like to tell the donors or those who support Heartbeat, like, it's a great cause. I feel like they should keep giving, because without you guys, it'd been like horrible for me. Like, because I definitely would have spiraled out, because that's just the kind of person I am. And it's so much other stuff like you guys have, like classes and stuff and all the support, and that's helping a lot of people. Because I even told a friend about it already, and she was like, I'm going to go check that out. And then she already told another friend, because right now in these days, a lot of people don't got insurance, don't have this, have a whole bunch of other kids, and it's hard. And then the classes helping you, because I definitely need some classes, because like I said, I'm 40, I don't have any kids. Like, I held baby before, not a newborn, and you guys have classes for that. So I feel like a little bit goes a long way. Just continue to help.
When I first found out, I was kind of a little devastated for a minute, but then, I had to think about the situations, because I kind of been in a similar situation as me being a man. But I look at it like this: I can't go against her or be mad at her about what happened, because it wasn't her fault. Things happen in certain situations where we be in places at the wrong time. Like I told her, God given us a gift, and I prayed about it. I prayed about, her situation. I try to talk to her, and I let her know that everything gonna be okay. I'm right here with you. We gonna go through this together. I go to her appointments with her. I try to be the best support system as I could to her, because when I was younger, I didn't have no father. I had a dad, but I didn't have no father. And I don't want to feel like, okay, well, even if with the situation that happened, even if it wasn't mine, I still would have accepted and stuck in there by her side no matter what. I feel like if you're gonna be in, be all the way in, be a man about it. It ain't for you to get up and just run out because of a situation that happened. Situations happen, and situations are always gonna happen, but it's how we conduct ourselves about handling this situation. I could have been evil and mad and, distant myself apart, but what good would that have been? For me to say, forget her in her time of need when she need me the most. When my child get here, I'm gonna make it feel like it's his birthday every day, because every day you wake up and you breathe, it's your birthday. We here to live. That God giving us a second chance of life to keep going, with that strength. That's what me trying to motivate her, and she's doing it. She's giving it that second strength. She's giving it the strength to keep going on even though that it happened. But all I want to do is lift her up, uplift her, not put her down, but make her want to keep going. I don't want her to be to where she don't want to keep going or just want to just say forget it and just give up, because that ain't how I do it. Like she said, she might have started being to where she wanted to be turned on the baby because of the situation. But I figure even if it wasn't mine, if I'm there still, then maybe it'll give her the more strength to want to make her not want to push the baby away, but to pull it in even more. Because no matter what, it still got a father. It still got a dad. I'm still here. I'm still gonna be there with it. When it have its first walk, when it have its first talk, when anything it needs, I'm gonna be there the best way I could, to be the best daddy I could for it. You know, and I wanna show my child a different way of growing up with knowing they got mommy and daddy. Not just mommy by herself, but it got both of us. They give it the same equal amount of love. And to show it that we here to protect it, to love and cherish it, make sure it's gonna be okay. I try to do that every day I could. Everything ain't peaches and cream, but you know what? We make the best out of it. And by the grace of God, that's what we did, that's where we at. Right now we here. And it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing else in the world. I like to start off by saying donors, it's a good thing to keep giving, because it's people like them that makes us get through our lives and get through our times of need. You know, it's places like this that will give us hope. That gives us hope, give us dreams, and help us with what we need. Come tell your story, because it might be somebody else you can help.
Good evening. My name is Gina Bonino, which Father Eric generously pointed out for you, so no mistakes who I am. I am the executive director of Heartbeat of Toledo. I have had the absolute pleasure of being involved with this organization for almost the past 8 years. I remember back to my first day starting at Heartbeat and just feeling utterly overwhelmed with the beauty of the organization, the compassion of those who worked within it, and the impact of the services that we offered. I quickly empathized with the clients that we saw and felt honored to be a part of those very vulnerable moments as they unpacked some of the most hardest things I've ever heard in my life. And when I left that day, I walked out to my car, just filled with emotion, and I just cried. I cried because I felt like I was finally where I was meant to be, and it felt so good. So as my time went on at Heartbeat, I got to know the programs pretty well and had a deep appreciation for each one of the programs and the unique needs that each one of them met. Heart to Heart is a fantastic parenting program. It not only offers education to new parents, but also helps them gain confidence in their ability to raise their families and raise those children that they're entrusted with. It also ensures that they can provide the necessary items for babies by allowing them to earn points towards those items like diapers, wipes, formula, clothes, and baby items. This program literally walks with parents through those first years of life, offering much needed support to the family as a whole. Another thing that is unique about Heartbeat is we do not withhold services from any parent based on their financial status. Many social services out there require clients to meet a certain threshold with their income to obtain services, leaving many families in our community without support or the incentive to want to improve their status. So Heartbeat accepts any mom or dad in need or wanting to learn how to be better prepared for their baby, and by doing so, they are filling a much-needed gap in our community. Another wonderful program through Heartbeat of Toledo is Your First Look. This offers free and confidential services to women who are first finding out they are pregnant. Not only do we provide vital information necessary to make an informed decision, we oftentimes are connecting women with so much more. Pregnancy tests and ultrasounds are the services provided, but women are also connected to resources ranging from food banks, housing, counseling, and so on, depending on what struggles they're facing during that time. I have seen this organization become a place of comfort and safety for women who repeatedly state that they wish they would have had this information before. They wish someone would have told them that they are valued, loved, cherished, and most of all, capable. I've watched as women's fears turned into hope within these appointments, and that was a beautiful thing. So here we have two really great programs, both doing amazing work and meeting very real needs in our community. And yet, my heart still felt uneasy as I replayed their words, "I wish I would have known." I felt so grateful that women felt seen, heard, and valued in these appointments, but I remember thinking, it's a shame that it even has to get to this point. I hated that it took an unplanned pregnancy for women to finally experience the love, support, and compassion that they found within our walls. I wish there was a way for them to experience this sooner. And that thought was one that would come back to nag me over the years. So during my time at Heartbeat, I went back to school, and I got my master's in social work. So during that time, I completed my internship at a local charter school, working with students in grades 4th through 12th. And during my time there, I saw things that just shocked me. Sexting and exchanging nudes were common among these children, sharing intimate parts of themselves via social media and text. I saw a trend of tearful little girls humiliated when the intimate pictures that were meant for one were shared among their peers without their consent. And I remember wanting to help them before it was too late, before these pictures were taken, sent, and shared. These children were longing for love and acceptance, but seeking it in all the wrong ways. But who could fault them? This was their norm in their environments, and it just broke my heart. I brought this pain home with me. I had my children of my own, and I couldn't shake the pit in my stomach when I thought about what was being normalized amongst these children. So this was still heavy on my heart when I was introduced to Erikson's stages of development in my studies. Erik Erikson was a psychologist who developed the most important, in my opinion, most important, but it's the most popular and influential theory of human development. Erikson proposed that there are 8 different stages that we go through in life, each building on the other and directly affecting the next. The majority of the clients that we see are in Erikson's 6th stage, intimacy versus isolation, which is ages 18 through 40. The majority conflict navigated during this stage of life centers around forming intimate, loving relationships with other people. This stage builds upon the success or failure of stage 5, which is identity versus role confusion. You know what age that starts at? 12 years old, and that is 6th grade for most children. So Erikson believed that successful navigation through stage 5 was essential to being able to maintain consistent loyalties and values that led to committed relationships in the next stage. So after hearing this lecture and thinking about the clients that we saw at Your First Look, and then seeing the trends that I saw with students, something just clicked. We need to be reaching clients earlier. If we want to shift the outcomes that we're seeing for our clients in stage 6, we need to be present in the stage before. We need to be helping them build self-worth. We need to be talking about healthy relationships and core values sooner. We need to be inviting students to be purposeful with their decisions, and empowering them to lead lives of intention. Because the college campus is too late. High school is often too late as well. And the Your First Look waiting room is definitely too late. So we need to reach these clients before they have a chance to become clients. We need to reach them in their youth. So for this reason, I am so unbelievably excited to announce the introduction of Catalyst, a new program this year designed to proactively reach the next generation, building self-worth, healthy relationships, and intentional decision-making, empowering individuals with confidence to lead lives of purpose and reduce unplanned pregnancies. We've had the opportunity to pilot this group in a 2-day workshop at Central Catholic earlier this year, and we have been welcomed into Explorers Academy to assist students as they navigate Erickson's 5th stage. We will be meeting weekly with grades 6th through 8th throughout the school year, teaching and reinforcing these values and supporting students as they establish their identity and transition into healthy relationships. Now, you may be asking yourself, is this really our responsibility to do this? And I would ask you back, whose responsibility is it then? Parents, schools, churches, nonprofits like ours? Yep, I would say yes to every single one of those. Because if raising a child takes a village, shouldn't that same village show up for the women navigating those decisions as well? Shouldn't that same village help our youth during vital stages that directly contribute to their ability to create a strong sense of self and meaningful relationships? I sure think so. We want to not only meet women in need, but also provide proactive resources and support that help keep women out of crisis to begin with. I feel our new Catalyst program will do just that. So thank you for joining us tonight as we welcome this proactive new addition to our services.
The next 2 client videos you are about to see have different backgrounds, ages, and reasons for seeking out Heartbeat's care. But both Danielle and Edith share the overwhelming gratitude for the compassion, care, and support through their parenting journey by the programs Heartbeat of Toledo has offered them. I hope you enjoy their message as much as we do.
My name is Danielle Cassiano. I'm currently living in the Toledo area, and I first discovered this whole organization through using First Look. I was in the process of changing my insurance at work, actually, because my husband and I had just gotten married, and I was updating it, and then I had a positive pregnancy test, and I didn't want to go to the doctor in the middle of the change because I wasn't quite sure how that worked. And some friends had recommended First Look because they said that you can get like a free, like they do a pregnancy test and ultrasound just to like confirm your pregnancy. So that's how I came about knowing it. So I did it. I did it in COVID, so it was still kind of weird at that time. Just me that could go back there and all, but it was awesome. I got my first ultrasound, confirmed my pregnancy, and then while I was there, they had like a little meeting with me and told me about all these other services they offer. One of them being the classes you can take that follow your pregnancy, and you get points for each class, and then you get to use those points in a boutique to purchase items. So that was super helpful because this is my first pregnancy, so the classes actually would tell you what to expect in that trimester. and it was just a lot of information that was really useful for someone who'd never been pregnant before at all. And then they followed me all the way throughout having my child and his age, and it was like a tiny bit ahead of where I was so that I knew what to expect, and that was extremely helpful. I feel like it was kind of unique because I'm an older mother, and maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of had the assumption that these services were kind of for like younger moms who kind of, were in a tough situation and just needed the help. And I'm an older mom, first time older mom at that. Had my first child a little bit older than average, and it was a little bit odd for me to use it. It was a little bit uncomfortable at first because I kind of felt like maybe it wasn't for me. I was immediately met with like kindness, and nobody ever like questioned anything, or I don't know, I was made to feel very comfortable. So although it was like kind of awkward getting into it and using the programs, I never felt like I was being judged for it or anything like that. So it was fine. Like I was really comfortable. And had I come and used the services and felt a little uncomfortable, I probably wouldn't have continued them. So that's the reason why I used them as long as I did too, because the staff was super friendly. And another unique part of my situation is I had actually been living abroad for most of basically since I graduated college, like in my early 20s, and I just came back to the USA in 2019. So I was still trying to figure those out, and as I was, all of my family and friends were basically like, oh, I had a full-time job, my husband has a full-time job, so we're not under the poverty line. So basically everybody let me know, like, don't bother because you're not gonna qualify. Anyone I knew that had already done all of those. So they kind of saved me the headache of having to go through that just to find out I didn't qualify. So that was the difference with this. I kind of went into it, and I had to state our income, so it was never any secret. And I was kind of almost waiting to be like, oh, are they not gonna be able to help me because we're not below poverty? And that never happened. So it was great because even though you're not below poverty, doesn't mean you don't need help, especially in our situation. Because I came back and started kind of settling down and having children at a later age in life, all of my siblings and family, their kids are all grown. I'm not getting any hand-me-downs or anything like that at this point. And we don't have any family in Toledo at all. And my husband had just started a new career where he kind of started at the bottom of the totem pole again. And so all of those factors were playing in, yet on paper, we weren't below poverty, so we couldn't really get any of the things that people can when you're below the poverty line in Ohio. I think the first time I actually completed a class, I was really surprised at just, how much information the class gave me. By the end of that, I'd take notes as I would watch these classes on my phone. And I was just pleasantly surprised at all the information I got from the class. And then the first time using the boutique, I was actually really surprised to find that a lot of the stuff I got was in packages and new. I kind of just thought it would all be gently used, which that was fine too, but it was kind of ooh, look, I got some new things too. I feel like I'm really grateful that I stumbled across the heart-to-heart services. I look back and think of all that I didn't have to worry about getting during the whole process, and I'm extremely thankful for that too. Yeah, I just feel super fortunate to have come across this because it wasn't really anything I was seeking out at the time. I hadn't gotten to that point. I found it as soon as I found out I was pregnant, so I just feel really fortunate to have stumbled across it, been able to use all of the services. I just like the donors to know that they aren't just giving items to parents, they're helping take away that burden so that we can enjoy the excitement of childhood and not have to worry about some of the essential things so much. So we can spend more time actually interacting with the children, and that the classes themselves help us be better parents, and better parents means children who are being raised better and becoming better individuals and adults and parents themselves. So essentially, I feel like it does affect the youth. The youth are our future, so they're having a much bigger effect than maybe they know.
I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and when we first moved to Ohio, and I didn't know I was pregnant. So once I took a pregnancy test, I was like, oh my gosh, it's positive. Where should I go? Because I didn't have insurance. I didn't know where to go. I don't know where I can get help, kind of thing. So I went on Google and I saw First Look, and I was like, this is awesome. So I went more on the website to do my research of Heartbeat of Toledo, and I saw they have amazing reviews. First of all, I love looking at reviews. So when I saw everything, I'm like, I think this is a place to go. And ever since, I've just been so happy that I chose Heartbeat of Toledo. Really, it's made a big impact, made a big change. Because when I first moved to Ohio, I was so scared. I didn't know anybody. And when I found out I was pregnant, I was even more scared because I didn't know anybody. So that made it really hard. So when I went, I was very happy with the experience I first had. It was very comfortable. The minute I walked in there, it was so comfortable. The atmosphere felt very, what's the word? Comforting. I don't know how else I could explain it, but it was really great. I was very nervous finding out I was pregnant again, but once I went to the Heartbeat of Toledo for the appointment, it's just the excitement took over me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a good thing. Why was I freaking out? I don't know why I was so scared, but it was just so comforting, and knowing that I didn't have friends when I first moved here, but Heartbeat of Toledo became my friends, became my family per se, like they helped, immensely. It's a great experience. I love being part of that Heartbeat of Toledo family. I got the pregnancy test, so it was the confirmation of the pregnancy. I had the ultrasound, and I talked to the nurse. Oh, she was amazing. She listened to all my concerns. She was caring. Right off the bat, I knew I could trust her. She just had this energy. I just don't know how to explain it, but you just know when you can talk to someone about your concerns and what's going on in your head, kind of thing, what you're thinking about. And I'm not going to lie, at first I was like, I don't know if I can afford a second child, So I didn't feel judged when I asked about abortion. I didn't feel like I was given that side eye, per se, like that phrase, And so I felt comfortable talking about my options with her, and it just felt like I was talking to a friend. It really did. And every day, ever since my first visit, I was like, I really love this place, The nurse, the ultrasound tech, the front desk, they were all amazing that day, and that really changed the way the entire pregnancy went. It changed everything. They directed me to a really nice OBGYN who at the time, because I didn't have insurance, she was like, oh, I have this paper for this and this, and she helped so much. And now I love that office. I go there and I'm happy all the time, and we all talk about my babies, and it's just, I'm so happy I started at Heartbeat of Toledo. When I was talking to the nurse, after I had the ultrasound and everything, I was expressing my concerns about having things we need for our children and for the baby and everything, because we had just moved to Toledo and we were brand new. I was so scared. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody around here. So around Christmas, I was getting really upset because I was like, oh, we don't have money for this, and it's my daughter's first Christmas too, and I was really upset about that. But me and my husband, we were really, he kept me positive, and I was like, we got this, don't worry. And then I get a phone call from the Heartbeat of Toledo, and I was like, oh, hello, how are you doing? And that's when they told me, oh, hey, we do this little Christmas gift thing for some of my patients at the clinic, and we love to help you out for Christmas. And I said, really? You want to help my family? I was so filled with joy after that phone call. I was squeaking, dancing with my daughter. I screamed my husband's name. I was like, hey, guess what? Like, we're getting Christmas gifts. He's like, what? Christmas came early. I was so happy. So once we got home, all three of us opened the gifts together, and it was just, I just wanted to call back and say just thank you, thank you, thank you. I literally wanted to cry. I cried. Something I would like to say to the donors, a little message, is thank you. Truly, thank you for your help. I was terrified finding out I was pregnant again, but through these programs and everything, it felt safe and it felt nice, and it felt like I didn't feel judged. I felt like I can trust these people with everything, truly. And I just met them, so that speaks a lot of how their energy feels, you know, and thank you. So wholeheartedly, I can't say that, wholeheartedly, thank you so much. And I can't wait to see how much more these programs, they excel in the future, because it's just an amazing place to go for the woman to feel safe to go to.
Our next presenter has the honor of updating us on Heartbeat's new building and currently serves as our treasurer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the captivating Miss Amy Barber.
Thank you, Abby. Hello, everyone. Just a quick background. I first became familiar with Heartbeat by attending this very banquet back in 2019. And I was immediately drawn in just by the mission and hearing the client stories, the discussion around the table, just everything drew me in about how everyone just wants to help these women and men and babies so that they can just thrive in life. And so I had applied for the board position and joined the board a few months later and have been participating ever since. So in addition to the news about the new space at St. Joe's and our new Catalyst program, I'm excited to share that as of January 1st, 2024, Heartbeat is going to have a new home. So for those of you that know, we've been at the Sylvania Avenue location since June of 2021. And, you know, Heartbeat has done great there. We've grown. We've served many families, many clients. But we've, you know, the leadership started looking for new space. And I'll tell you a few of the benefits. So our new location is going to be on Sun Forest Court, which is actually only about a half a mile down the road. So while the distance of our move is small, the benefits of this location are great. And a couple of those include we continue to be on the bus line, which is important because, you know, many of our clients, their only transportation is to get through, you know, get to us by using the bus. There's ease in locating us once you get to the building. For those of you that have been to our Sylvania Avenue location, you have to navigate down into the basement and through the basement to find the different, you know, doors that go to our different programs. So we're excited that we're actually going to be on the ground level at this new location. One of the other things that affords is there's a lot of windows and natural light coming into the space. So, you know, our clients that come to us deal with a lot of heavy, heavy issues in their lives. And just to be able to, you know, look out the window and have natural light and welcome them into a space that's cheerful and bright makes a big difference. And in addition to the clients, you know, our staff is also helping these women navigate all these tough things that are going on in their lives. And so just for them to be able to just take a mental break, look out the window, see the nature, you know, step outside quick for a quick breath of fresh air means a lot. Another thing, the adequate space for our programs is great. We're actually going to be able to have a boutique, which is where the clothes that everyone donates, the diapers, the formula. We're going to be about 3 times bigger than our current boutique, which allows us to keep all the clothes out all the time. So, you know, this time of year, we might still have summer and fall stuff out, but at that point, we can have winter coats out. So if our clients are looking ahead and worried about a winter coat for their children, they're going to be able to come in and shop for all that all at once. Additionally, as a board member and as the treasurer, obviously we have to keep the financial aspect in the back of our minds. And when we started to look for new space, we wanted to make sure we kept that in mind. And so we had kind of set a budget. You know, as we started looking and a realtor helped us look at different spaces, we kind of set a limit, like here's what our budget is for this new space. And The nice part was this particular location was actually over our budget, but in talking with the landlord, they support our cause, and the fact that the space is completely adequate the way it is, we don't need a lot of additional build-out costs. So they agreed to reduce the rent so that it fit within our budget. So yeah, it's great. So we want to let you know that so our current lease ends December 31st. Our new lease is effective January 1st. However, the nice part is it's space that's available sooner, so we can paint, we can get moved in, and be ready to hit the ground running on January 1st. And it's not lost on the board members and many of the staff and those of you that God's timing is perfect. The location came up when we needed it. It fits financially, it fits our needs, and we're just so thankful for all of that. So once the move is complete, the staff and leadership is going to hold a special celebration. So keep a lookout for any information coming after the first of the year so that all the donors and volunteers can come in and celebrate this new space with us. So I want to, again, thank you for all of your support. It's because of the things that you provide, and not just financially, but also the goods, you know, the clothes, the diapers, the formula, everything that we serve our clients with. It's because of all of that that you guys provide that we're able to continue our mission of serving families, moms, dads, and babies. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy, for the incredible update. Now, I would like to ask Samantha Byrne, our board president, to the stage for a very special presentation.
Hello. Once again, it's so wonderful to spend this evening with all of you celebrating all the many ways your support helps Heartbeat of Toledo continue to grow and serve the families in Toledo. So when I think of continued support, there are several individuals and organizations that come to mind. One in particular, and one that we are so grateful for and would like to recognize, is the Knights of Columbus. The Knights of Columbus has consistently helped in many ways, such as coat drives and providing previous ultrasounds throughout the years. And we're so grateful for the way they show up big in the lives of women and children. So over the past several months, the Knights have campaigned and raised funds to provide Heartbeat of Toledo with a new ultrasound machine, which is such perfect timing, right? Heading into this new space to have a new and updated machine is just, I don't know. I don't have words. It's remarkable, and we're so thankful. So the ultrasound is continuously identified by our clients as the most powerful piece of their decision-making process. Being able to continue to provide them with new and updated equipment is essential to our mission. This gift will allow us to continue to provide the first snapshot of the life within her womb, with greater picture clarity for that very impactful moment. And at this time, I would like to invite Mark Syracusa to the stage, as I hear he may have something super special and exciting he would like to present.
Thank you, Sam. Yep. Yes, well, first of all, for those that don't know, the Knights of Columbus are pro-birth and pro-life also. A while back, I was talking with Sam, and I asked, what do you guys need over there at Heartbeat at Toledo? And she said, got an ultrasound machine starting to go down. I said, well, okay, well, we'll get you one, I told her. So then we got started, and we talked to a lot of the councils here at the Toledo Diocese, and we've been talking to them about donating money for the ultrasound, and we've also had other individuals donate money too for the ultrasound. And for those that don't know, what we do with the Knights of Columbus is the councils, local councils, raise half the money. Once they raise half the money, what we do is we get a hold, I fill out paperwork, and we get a hold of the Supreme Knights of Columbus, and they donate and send a check to them for the other half of the money. So we pay for the whole machine, we find out what they want and go from there. So that's what we did. So what we ended up doing was we got the money, and I told Sam, I said, Sam and Gina, I talked to Gina too, I said, we got it. So I said, now we're going to present you a check. So here we are tonight, and if you take a look, we got this check. And for those of those that can't see, it says, Heartbeat of Toledo, $21,818 for an ultrasound machine. And this is half the money. Supreme will be sending them a check for the other half. So, but it's always our pleasure, the Knights of Columbus, to always help where the help is needed. And now I'll give Sam the real check.
Ladies and gentlemen, give them a big round of applause for that ginormous check. Nice job, sweetie. There are truly angels here on earth, and we here at Heartbeat are blessed to have so many of them grace our agency with their love, compassion, time, and talent. One of these angels has served in our community in many different capacities. She started off as a volunteer, served on our staff as development director, and is now serving as vice president of our board. Let's turn our attention to the video screen now so we can hear from this beautiful woman as she tells the tale of how Heartbeat has impacted her life.
What led me to get involved with Heartbeat is kind of a, I don't want to say a long story, but basically I missed my kids. They went to school and I was working part-time, and I thought, where can I go hold babies? That's kind of where I started. And I did some research. I had never heard of Heartbeat. And I met with Pam, who was still on our staff. And just the connection and her telling me about babies and moms, it was just an instant love, and I looked no further. That's where I just thought, this is where my heart belongs. Everything she explained to me, everything I saw was a connection piece for me. And since then, I have volunteered, I've been on staff, I've worked at I'm on the board, I've helped with the boutique, and it's my main focus. So what's kept me involved at Heartbeat is the amount of relationships I've had, whether it is with former clients, our staff, our board. The thing that I love is the connection piece, and I know I've been in rooms with girls over the years that say that I'm the only person that's looked at them this week. And when you hear those words, it's changed the path of my life, because whether I'm at a grocery store line and someone looks at me, I'm going to connect with them. I think it's made me personally a better person, but I'm humbled and honored too to have them choose me to be that person that they share their most intimate details with, and those connections. I still, over the years, I mean, I was just invited to a baby shower, a play. We're talking, you know, some people 8 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And no matter where we are, I mean, it could be a year I don't hear from someone and I just get, I love you. And it's mind-blowing. And even when people say to me, like my friends will say, gosh, you're still involved with Heartbeat? And my answer is, why would I not be? I mean, this serves our community. These are women and men that need our services, and they need a person to look them in the face and tell them they're worth something. Another thing that I love about Heartbeat is how these Women and men earn the right to be there, and they're able to shop in our boutique. Like, it's not something that they're just doing because it's mandated. They're doing that because they need something in their lives that they are going to do something else for, if that makes sense. It's not a handout, it's earned, and I love that piece of it because it makes you feel really good about what you're doing. Being development director brought me to a level of not only embracing our donors, who are fabulous, but realizing where their money goes to and seeing the people that are the recipients of it. To me, that's a huge, huge bonus. I guess for me, it's been full circle, and that's what's been really fun. You know, to be a volunteer, to be on the staff, and then to be on the board and actually be able to contribute into the knowledge that I have with both of those things, because I could speak into not only what our clients are looking for, but what our community is looking for, because I was out there raising money, and I know I know everyone's passions, like from internally, externally, and now bringing that all together just keeps my heart happy. Heartbeat for me not only has spread from like my love, but it has spread throughout my family and friends, which is really cool. You know, they ask what Heartbeat needs. They're probably some of the bigger donors that we have, my friends and family, but my most favorite thing is my immediate family. So I have 2 little girls that have been folding clothes and making outfits since they've probably been like 6 and 7 years old. I would bring home bins, we would sit in front of the TV, hold up cute little outfits. And then since then, you know, they talk about it. They've had their friends at school volunteer and get volunteer hours. My husband, I always call him a honorary volunteer because it really wasn't his choice, but he wouldn't have it any other way. He has moved us, he has painted. Oh gosh, I don't even, he's done so much. And so I always call him our honorary volunteer. But my girls, like, their big joke this year was they're in 10th and 11th grade, and they said, can we take all of our service hours and apply them to Northview? Because I was like, guys, that would be thousands of hours, I bet. I mean, in all honesty, because they came with me on the weekends. They hung out with little kids. They had like a little babysitting club. So they've just had all these fun interactions, but it's made them better humans. They are so compassionate. Anytime they get rid of something in our house, they ask, who needs this? Who can we get it to? And for me, I don't know, that just speaks volumes. That's all I want. Not only do you want to raise good kids, but you want them to have those values of non-judgmental. Like, I would say, girls, all around you are people that need things, at your school, at the grocery store. You know, it's not a handout, it's what can we do for people. I know people have helped me over my life, and I wouldn't be here today in the position I am if people hadn't helped me. So for me to give that back to the world and have my family involved is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful Stacy LaPointe. You made me cry. So beautiful. I love you.
Woo! I had hives in that video, and I think I just got them again. But I am here tonight to not only, to honor 2 people in this room. So the first person I would like to say a little something about is Barb Kunkel. Mother Teresa said, do no small acts, okay, let's back up. Do small acts with great love. I'm here to honor a woman whose acts every day, every week, for almost 30 years have added up to 25,000 hours. 25,000 hours of care and attention. 25,000 hours of collecting, sorting, displaying all the items in our boutique. 25,000 hours of commitment to young women who have visited Heartbeat. 25,000 hours outside her home, from her family, from the time and talents to make a difference. Her joy in the service of others at Heartbeat and all the women around her. The labor of love that is in the Heartbeat Boutique is tremendous. You could find her there folding and displaying items so that our parents have the best experience while they visit. She has 6 children, 20 grandkids, 16 great-grandkids, Included in that are utero, step, and foster. She still finds time to make the Heartbeat Boutique welcoming and a beautiful space. She has said, seeing the faces of the clients when they arrive and the transformation and knowing that she has their backs and that we do at Heartbeat is the greatest feeling in the world. Barb reminds us that a simple act of kindness can be a ripple effect, transforming lives and inspiring others to make a difference. From all of us at Heartbeat, we want to say thank you, Barb, for giving us 25,000 hours of your time. Where are you little cutie? Where is she? She's modest.
Pretty overwhelmed with this, and it's pretty humbling, and I just would like to say I wish everybody that has ever contributed stuff to the boutique or money or their time or especially their prayers, God bless you all, from all the girls that you've helped, the guys that you've helped, and all the babies' lives you've saved. God bless you all. Thank you so, so much.
All right, get to hear more from my babbly mouth here. All right, I've always believed that nurses are angels on earth, and Mary Ann Owis is the purest example of that. Mary Ann has graciously given us 10 years and countless hours of service as a nurse at Your First Look. Mary Ann's presence and compassion towards our clients is unparalleled. Her gentle demeanor and her warmth has made clients feel safe and cared for during some of the most tumultuous times of their life. If you add up hours that Mary Ann has spent caring for our clients, it would equal to $74,480. This is over a decade of volunteerism. This woman has shown up immensely for the organization and the clients we serve. She takes pride in providing an environment of trust for our women so that they feel safe and non-judged. She has said, "It takes courage to walk through the doors at Heartbeat. I find it fulfilling when we could validate that courage with attention to their body with an ultrasound, their mind with the facts, and to bring calm to their spirit." We are so grateful for Mary Ann for her service and for her example that when we offer our time, our skills, and our hearts to those in need, we can make communities stronger and be more compassionate. Mary Ann, you are the epitome of love. We are so honored to acknowledge your service with this gift of appreciation.
They're cheaper than me. I do just want to say thank you. I'm glad I followed Barb, because every time I'd be there she was. So I know of what she gave. And I would say this, that I'm just one of these volunteers representing hundreds, right, Gina? Hundreds of them. And we do this because not so much of what we give out, but how we get back. The benefits of, as Stacy spoke, enhancing community through all parts of us being. I'm just grateful to be in that place. Thank you.
I just want to thank Barb and Mary Ann again. These are two very amazing women who do so much good for our organization. So just give them another hand. And like Marianne said, she is just one of many. There are so many faces behind the scenes that are responsible for all of these client stories that you heard tonight. So I just want to thank everybody who has ever contributed with your time, talent, resources. Thank you. You are all a part of this. So there's been so many beautiful and exciting moments so far tonight. New partnerships, programs, impactful client stories, and we're not even done yet. I have a very exciting announcement to make. Friday, December 1st, we will be bringing back Dine and Dash. Those of you who have been to Dine and Dash before are probably the ones clapping. It is a very, very fun time filled with area vendors, a gift card tree, silent auction items, a wine pull, and so much more. This time of shopping and cheer is bound to get you in the holiday spirit, and what better way to do that than supporting local vendors and a pretty awesome nonprofit. You'll find an invite actually within your programs with a QR code that you can scan to get your tickets to this fun, festive event. We'll be updating that page to showcase various vendors and silent auction items before the event for a nice sneak peek. So get your tickets now, invite all your friends, save all your holiday shopping for that day, and join in on the fun. Now, as we get closer to the end of the night, I want to invite you all to think about your role in all of this. Are you a donor, a volunteer, staff, or board member? What is your role in impacting those in need in our community? What is your responsibility? And the best response I've heard to this day regarding responsibility comes from a retired Navy vet, and I would like to share that short clip with you now.
I learned leadership by being a good follower. The leaders in my life have asked me to do some of the most difficult things. I had a leader that asked me to risk my life in Vietnam. We were up on this hill, and we were trapped, and we were outnumbered 20-1. They were coming up to kill us. And they radioed us and said, you're going to die because we can't get to you because of the fog. But if we blow up half the hill, you can go down that half and get away. But we need 5 of you to stay back and slow up the enemy so they don't flank the ones that are escaping. Really? Who would that be? And Sergeant Parker came to us and he said, we have to do this. I said, we what? He says, it's our responsibility. I said, responsibility? He said, you know what responsibility is, Richard? It's a word made up of 2 words. The word response and the word ability. Responsibility isn't what someone puts on you. Responsibility isn't your job description. Responsibility isn't the paper you sign. We all find ourselves looking at situations, and we all find ourselves with abilities. And what we have to ask is, given my abilities, what then will be my response to those abilities? Do we have the ability to slow them up? Do we have the ability to save these lives? We do. So what is our response to that? I had a leader that talked me into never retiring and working till the day I die. We adopted 4 little disabled girls in December, ages 9 to 4. I'm 66 years old. This was not my idea for my golden years. But they were going to split them all up if we didn't take them. We were the only ones who could take them. And I asked my wife, why do you think I should do this? And she looked at me and she said, it's our responsibility. And did we have the ability to do it? Yeah. And what was our response to that ability? To do it. What abilities do you have? And more importantly, what is your response?
So this man was challenged with 2 questions. What is my ability? And given that ability, what will my response then be? So as an organization, I see our ability to continue offering a safe space for women facing unplanned pregnancy and to support parents as they raise their families. But also, I look at our ability to reach clients before they become clients. I see our ability to come alongside our schools and support our youth during critical stages. I see our ability to add a proactive element that can change the culture of the next generation. So will your response be to support us as we do? So we're now going to show 2 very special client stories before we invite up Pastor Jonathan to close out our night. So please enjoy these last 2 videos. Thank you again for joining us tonight, because none of this would be possible without your continued support.
I'm Crystal Brooks, and this is Octavia. I first got involved with Heartbeat of Toledo when I went to Your First Look to find out that I was pregnant with my son. It was a surprise because I was on the depot shot, and I had never planned on having kids. I'd actually been talking about getting my tubes tied with my doctor about 2 weeks before, because I didn't think that they were going to be part of my life. And then after I found out I was pregnant with Odin, I went through the heart-to-heart classes. So when I found out I was pregnant with Odin, I was actually working 3 jobs and going to school to become an EMT. And I didn't have a car because I had caught on fire, so there was a lot of things happening with bike riding, and so kids just weren't in my future. I never planned on them, and with being an EMT, I didn't ever want to risk dying on the job and leaving my kids without a mom. So I decided that I didn't want kids. And so I was talking to my doctor about getting my tubes tied, and this was during COVID, so everything was virtual. And she said that I had to wait a year, and then if I was still sure in a year, then she would refer me to somebody who would do it. In November of 2020, I got sick, and I thought I had COVID because I lost my sense of smell and my sense of taste. But I didn't have COVID or the flu or strep or mono. Nothing. So I went home and I was like, it'd be really funny if I took a pregnancy test right now. And then I took a pregnancy test and it was positive, and it was not so funny all of a sudden because I was like, oh, no, this is actually positive. And then I didn't know where to go from there because all of a sudden my life wasn't going the way that I had planned. So I was really scared, and then I went to Your First Look and they confirmed it. And as soon as I heard his little heartbeat, I knew that my entire life was about to change. And it's changed for the better. And then I was on the patch with her when I got pregnant, so I went to Your First Look again, and they confirmed it again. But this time I was a little bit more prepared, even though I wasn't expecting another baby. So I don't regret them at all, though. So they're the best part of my life. So I think some unique aspects to my story are that I was on birth control with both my pregnancies. With her, I was on birth control and breastfeeding, which is supposed to be not 100%, but it's supposed to help decrease your chances of pregnancy. So with both of them, there was no expectation that I was going to get pregnant. And then with Odin, it was during COVID, so that was a whole experience of itself because it was very isolating at times. Because of being able to contact people at Heart to Heart, I was able to not feel so alone during times. And the people at Your First Look, when I found out with him, were very welcoming and understanding, and they laid out all the options. So I'm really grateful for all that. So if I didn't have Heartbeat when I got pregnant with Odin, things probably would have been a lot different. I was already considering adoption with him because I was working 3 jobs and I didn't have a car and I was riding my bike everywhere. And yeah, I technically could have got a baby seat for him to be on a bike with me, but also I got hit by a car while I was riding my bike, and that's not something I would want him to go through. And I was going to school to be an EMT, and I finished my program. But without Heart to Heart, I probably would have just given up and just lost pretty much everything because I didn't know what to do with my future at that point because my entire world had got flipped upside down. I had imagined myself without him at my Thanksgiving table because that's what they always tell you. They tell you, imagine 20 years from now, a Thanksgiving table, and if it's full, you're okay, you're done having kids, and you'll be content. And when I imagined my Thanksgiving table without him in it,
I just didn't feel like I was going to be happy with my life if I had given him up for adoption. So I decided to try on and do my best and try to give him the best life that I could give him. So, and then me and his dad are both very, very grateful that we did not go either of those routes. I think my favorite part of my family life right now is with our newest addition. Her big brother every morning wakes up and walks over to her where she's sleeping and goes, "Oh, good morning, my beautiful Teva Jean." And he just loves her so much. And he's so smart. He knows all of his letters and his numbers. He can count to 23, just a very random number, but he can count to 23. And he's starting to read already. He just turned 2. So I just love being able to watch them grow and interact with each other and see how much they love each other. So I think I would have had a really hard time living with the guilt if I would have put him up for adoption or aborted him. Because I've always suffered with depression, and right now I have postpartum depression. So the thought of neither of them being here just makes my heart break. And to the donors, I would just like to say thank you for everything. Without their contributions, I probably wouldn't have been able to get a private ultrasound and found out that I was pregnant and been able to be supported through Heart to Heart. And so there's a pretty good chance that neither of them would have been here today, because without him, she wouldn't have been here. So I just want to say thank you, and your contributions really make a big difference to a lot of people's lives. And they've definitely made a huge impact in ours and our families. So thank you.
I really got connected with Heartbeat of Toledo actually through a colleague. She had got the first look, and we were both pregnant in the office when I was working at the University of Toledo, and she was telling me about the amazing services. I'm like, I have to check it out. And so I checked it out, and I was like, oh my, this is awesome. So starting, I think it was about 3 months I was pregnant, and then starting those classes just to learn about the whole different perspectives was awesome. So through a colleague of mine. So Heartbeat was a perfect perspective to have to finding the information that I didn't even know how to ask or what to ask. And so the lessons and the classes was a perfect perspective of okay, this is what I need to do, this is the information. Okay. And then it also provided a perfect opportunity to actually find out more. Oh, they always give perfect references and stuff like that.
Definitely knowing what stage is next, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the classes were awesome with that, because as soon as we had the question, the class would address it. When she was little, I remember just being so kind of worried of how small she was, and I don't want to shake her, I don't want to, and then the one class I remember was the shaken baby class, and they were like, no, you really have to go at it for the baby, right? And just little rocks and stuff that won't affect it. And so just kind of that information was so helpful for me personally, because it helped me realize that babies are a lot more resilient than people would think. And the stages that they go through, it really gave us the information as what to expect next. I was so worried about picking her up. She was so small. She spent days in the NICU when she was just born as well. So I was just so nervous. I would look at her and lady, pick her up. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to, hurt her. And then when we did that class, I think it just really led to a lot of confidence, because it really went through, what I appreciated, it went through the science of it, and then it went through kind of the parental techniques. And so we got both sides of it. It was also awareness. So I think the classes were it was such a good piece to it, because it was educational, and it gave you that confidence to know what to do next. It was kind of exciting, actually. It was just to know that there's a support system out there that really care about first-time parenting and the knowledge, and equipping parents with that knowledge. We were really excited to learn it. And that's kind of why we started just telling everyone who were first-time parents. We were actually surprised that a lot of people didn't seem to follow up on it. And so I kind of realized that there's a hesitancy before, but once you join it, you're like, whoa, this is a great resource. And sometimes I'll just say multiple times to people, eventually they'd be like, okay, I'm on the waiting list. Now what? I'm like, well, just wait, on the waiting list.
Right.
And they would always come back with awesome reviews too. So it was really exciting when we learned about the opportunity.
One of the fears was being a first-time mom, and not having a mom was, how do I do this? The different fears of either complications, the different fears of not knowing the right information, not knowing where to go. It's just so much stuff that you can be overwhelming. And so one of the things for me was just like having this information. And one of the memorable things was actually, I had a couple, when I was picking up the different stuff or having shopping orders, a couple of the moms were there and we were just like talking about different things. And even a couple of the staff members that were there were just really sharing information, sharing advices. So it was so like warming and actually like heartfelt to really say like, wow, like we're all in this together. We're all moms just trying to do our best. We're all moms just trying to figure this all out, and to be able to have this great support system was just actually just amazing. It was just like so heartwarming. Like, wow, this is okay. We can all do this together. We're not silos together. We're on this journey together. So, and being able to like have a support system, it's just so remarkable. It's like you can't say it enough.
So at first, you know, she would tell me, hey, I'm gonna go to Heartbeat and getting some supplies, and there were times where she would invite me and I wasn't sure, well, is this a mom thing? Can I come in? But so one day I did walk in and I was just so embraced. Like everyone was just like, oh, hey, Dad, hi, how you doing? And just to see like the setup and how, like she was saying, how warming people were and welcoming, I was like, wow, so this is really, you know, they're really promoting a family structure. There really here's a support system. From the dad's perspective, I think it's just been something that I just value a lot, because not only has it helped with budgeting, but it's also helped with planning as well. And it's kind of given us that breathing room where we could anticipate, okay, well, we know there's like a time period, but we can plan for that, and we really like that. So to the donors, thank you. Thank you so much for caring about the community, caring about new parents, caring about education. We appreciate you so much. Yeah.
It's just, it kind of makes me teary-eyed because thank you. Like, it's so awesome. It's so awesome to be able to have that confidence. And like I said earlier, I didn't have a mom growing up, so it was in a sense scary to me. And she had complications with childbirth, and this whole experience was very unique. So to have that support system, to be able to educate and have that confidence, it's just, I am forever grateful. I am truly grateful, and I'm so blessed to have the opportunity. And every moment I get, I try to share the information. So I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. From someone, no matter where you are in life, you can always learn. And sometimes we have different cards that are dealt to us. So no matter where your stages is, I love the fact that you are providing opportunities to people that are at different rays of life, different perspectives, different educational perspectives, different educational backgrounds, and economic backgrounds. So I'm just so grateful. I am so thankful. And I just have to say thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I just absolutely love that family. I had the honor of being in that room during the interview. So if you guys were wondering where that little girl went halfway through, it was my lap for the rest of it. And she just sat there and smiled at me and was quiet, and it was just so amazing. But this is a fantastic example of the fact that unplanned pregnancy is not limited to the teenage unwed mom. You know, unplanned pregnancy can hit women of all stages of life, educational backgrounds, financial status, and Heartbeat of Toledo has its arms open for every single one of those women and men in need, and it's just led to beautiful, beautiful stories. We truly are a pillar in our community. So I want to take this time to announce, those of you who've looked at your programs and saw that our next speaker is Andy Rechtenwald, you're going to be quite confused when the next person comes up here, because it's not Andy. Andy got called away because he is adding an addition to his family through adoption, and today is the day. So I believe there's a picture up. So keep Andy and his family and their new addition in your prayers. And I would like to welcome to the stage Pastor Jonathan Davis, who has so graciously stepped in from Intersection Church.
Yes, as you all can tell, I'm a little bit taller and a little bit more chocolate than Andy Rechtenwald. So I am thankful to be here this evening. And I want you guys to just picture something for me. And I want you to picture Thanksgiving, all right? You have it once a year. Some of you can close your eyes. You can think about the sweet potato pie. For white people, it's pumpkin pie. Maybe green bean casserole. We say collard greens at our house. But just close your eyes and think about Thanksgiving. And think about the people who are around you. Think about the people that you love. Think about the community that you have, the friends and the camaraderie. And now I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to look at everybody that's here tonight, and I want you to think of the same feelings, that this is family. This is the heartbeat of Toledo family and community, and I'm just so thankful to be able to play a little part in tonight. And I know that time is one of our most precious commodities, so I understand the sacrifice that all of you guys have made tonight. So I really appreciate you guys for that. So why do I, not Andy Rechtenwald, love Heartbeat of Toledo? I love Heartbeat of Toledo because it brings greater hope, restoration, and responsibility to our city. I'm a pastor here in Toledo, Ohio, really Oregon, Ohio. I know some of you guys don't like to cross over the river. But these things are very dear to my heart. Heartbeat of Toledo is an organization that connects directly to mothers, fathers, and children in need. I grew up in Northeast Ohio in a city called Ravenna, 330, come on. My mother got pregnant. She wasn't married. She grew up in the church, and actually she contemplated abortion. And for every pastor that's here, I do want to let you know, just because you guys have parishioners and people in your church that grow up in church, they still are contemplating abortion in the darkest times of their life. But thankfully, for my mother, if it wasn't for the support of my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, she actually would have went through with that abortion. I wouldn't be here today, and you guys wouldn't see my smiley face. It was yeah. It was through their support, their investment, their ability to say, I got your back, that led to my life. I look at Heartbeat being that uncle, that aunt, that grandmother saying, I got your back. I believe investing in the Heartbeat of Toledo, newsflash, I am the guy asking you for money tonight. Thank you, Andy. But I believe in investing in Heartbeat of Toledo is one of the best investments you can make because of its trustworthiness. They've been transforming lives here in Toledo for over 52 years. They have a proven track record of serving our city and showing the ability to impact people in their hardest of times. As we've watched the testimonies, as we have watched the videos, a lot of these people are saying they are in some of the darkest places of their lives. And whether you are in poverty or whether you are rich, unexpected pregnancy, unexpected events in your life can instantly take you to a place that you just quite simply are not prepared for. And I believe that Heartbeat of Toledo has shown themselves to be a trustworthy organization for you guys to invest in. So I want to play a little game called Simon Says. How many of us remember that game? But instead of Simon Says, we can play JD Says. So JD Says, everybody pull up this red card right here. Get out your wallet. I didn't say JD Says get out your wallet, so calm down. Yeah. So as you are looking at this card, you guys can look at many ways in which you guys are able to invest in the Heartbeat of Toledo. But I am a married man. Sorry, ladies. And with me being a married man, I want to share with you guys about the shebang and then some, okay? So I figured out when I was married, some of the greatest advice that I got, it was to talk daily, to pray nightly, and to date weekly. And that date weekly was kind of like that shebang. It was the big investment. That's when I was supposed to go all in, ask my wife, do you want to go to Wendy's or Burger King? Like, what do you want? It's yours. You know, those are the evenings where I invested a little bit more. I'm just kidding, guys. I would take her to something a little bit more classy, you know, big boy, something like that. But these are the nights where I decided in my heart, and the best advice I got, that I need to make a bigger investment for my wife just to show how much I love her. As the woman who have bore 3 of my children, Baylor, who is 3, and I have a set of twins who just turned 1 in August. The big shebang is a big deal. Our dating time is an investment that I need to make. And so some of you tonight look at this event as the big shebang, right? And that's beautiful. If this is your dating time, you should invest tonight and have a good, you should feel it a little bit in your wallet, just as I do with my wife when I take her to a nice restaurant, right? That's beautiful. But for all my married men, if the only time I invested in my wife was on date night, and I didn't take my kids to bed, or if I didn't take the trash out when my wife tells me to take the trash out, if I didn't make the small investments throughout our marriage that really matter, the big shebang really isn't the big shebang. It's really me trying not to sleep on the couch, right? So I want you guys to reflect on this. If you came tonight and it was on your heart to give to the Heartbeat of Toledo because you've seen the testimonies and you've seen the impact, I want to encourage you, make the big investment. Use your heart. Use your conviction. In the Word of God, it says that where your treasure is, your heart will be also. But also with that, if that was your expectation, I want to encourage you also, make the smaller investments as well, the monthly giving and those things as well. So as JD says, I want you guys to get this out. I want you to, whether you have your spouse there, because if you're like me and my wife, we have to make decisions over $150 and all that. She says, you better come talk to me. I'm like, that's weird because we get Amazon packages all the time at the house. And like, the way these Amazon packages are working is definitely accumulating over $150. She was like, oh, I thought it was like, I'm like, no, if you make 10 purchases throughout the week, it's easily over $150, right? But I want you guys to talk with your spouse, speak with the people at your table if you want to, or this can just be a private decision that you're making. And just use your heart and make sure that it aligns with it when you're giving tonight. Thank you guys for so much for allowing me to come out, and happy to be a part.
Table hosts should be handing out information at this time and going over how to make a donation and how you look into your hearts. Make sure that you are keeping in mind that our services are most impacted by that monthly donation. So think hard and reach hard into your pockets and into your hearts. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out tonight.